fatigue a scheme, something to sell on TV. We don't hear about minimum wage fatigue, waiting for a call from my welfare worker fatigue. They took my kids away fatigue. They're drilling a pipeline through my home fatigue. Or Shoppers Drug Mart wants me to check myself out fatigue. And I'm wondering how many more jobs will be lost fatigue. Instead, they take compassion, peel it away from time and space, filter out its history, blow the meaning right out of it like an Easter egg. And what about this big rock we come from that gives us literally everything we need to live? We beat the shit out of it constantly. But it's still here, still spinning, still burning at its heart. Then there's fatigue. You know what fatigue means? Really, really tired. When you need a proper meal and a good long sleep in a safe place with clean sheets. So I guess if I was homeless, I would have a reason to be scared of fatigue. Like it was some sort of disease, because the cure would be out of reach. But they're selling compassion fatigue to people like me, with jobs and a place to sleep. And we buy it, literally. All kinds of money for all sorts of therapy. We're tired? Shit. We just need to go to sleep. We have the means. Like when I was 10 and bundled into bed, warm PJs, fresh linen sheets. That cotton comfort is my lineage, the privilege of never having to take a cotton picking minute to think about picking cotton. Who's doing it? Where? How much they getting paid? My Polish bubby told me, she said a Negro soldier was the first black man she had ever seen. And she peeked at the bleach white cotton washcloth every time she bathed him to see if the color would come off. We are layers of skin like rock, still here, still breathing at our hearts hot as coal. My grandmother was a terrorist. That's what the Germans said. They removed her from her time and place, occupied her history, packed her like cattle onto a train. Interruption. My friend is asking about this poem. So, am I in it subliminally? No, obviously. I'm obviously not in it. Oh, you are in it. But not subliminally. You see, you are someone who crosses lines conspicuously, even when quietly sleeping within them, like between fresh, clean sheets. Okay, so write this down then. Things from the back of my mind. Stop throwing things. Don't paint the things you don't want to look at. Do it right to reduce the scar track. Love mountains. Raise your youth like you cradle the wick of a candle. My bubby cradled other women's babies on that train ride away from home. Dried their pea-soaked diapers against the warmth of her stomach, watched while others ran, escaped the train each time it slowed down. She stayed, she said, to find out how her story would end. And she laughed every time she said that, loving her own curiosity. And years later, singing Silent Night to her in Polish, we, the second generations, had to look up the words on our phones. But the last words she said were in English. She was speaking just to me, just the two of us in that room, when I found out that the heart still burns when it stops. And stories don't finish with the end, but with a plea. Help me, she said. But my hands were tied in the lifetime of cotton crochet knots that occupied her time. Yarn woven between the fingers of her left hand, crochet hook in her right. She showed me how to keep the tension, then let me go on my own, pulling yarn through yarn, over and over again. My hands have rhythm like a drum, like a heartbeat. Help me, she said. There is no end to this story. Just this inheritance, this obligation to make sure that everyone in my circle has something to eat every day, whether they say thank you or not. And the knots dictate my heart, and heart dictates my hands. And they do what they can. When someone says, help me, and if that makes me fatigued, well, I have a place to sleep.